today's NBA episode of Loose Laces, we preview the OKC versus Houston playoff series and discuss a key missing piece to the Rockets' starting five. After that, we recap the play-in game that took place over the weekend between the Portland Trail Blazers and the Memphis Grizzlies, as well as break down and predict all of Monday's playoff series games. Then finally, we wrap it up with our very own Loose Laces NBA Bubble Awards, including our Bubble MVP, plus so much more. Hello guys, welcome to Loose Laces, presented by Fourth and Shoe. My name's Zach Shoemaker, that's Carlos Canizales, so we're going to be your host as always. So before we go ahead and get started, I just want to give a quick shout out to one of our sponsors.
Shout out.
Having a hard time keeping up with your lawn? Well, we've got just the company for you, called L&C Lawn Services. They can take care of all your landscaping needs and have someone treat and service your lawn as if it were their own. They're locally owned and do business in the Spring and Woodlands area. Give them a call at 832-928-6134 for your free estimate, or reach them at LNC Services on Facebook.
Right on.
And with that, we'll go ahead and jump in. So
playoffs, baby.
Yeah, but before we go ahead and jump into the playoffs, we will do our due diligence and just kind of gloss over the last game by Houston.
Yeah.
Houston, Philly got the win.
Yeah, honestly, just one of those last games, just to get I feel like the bench players some more rotation, before we go to actual.
Right. We were down Westbrook and Daniel House, so that's definitely
quad strain, left toe sprain, just something that there's no necessary reason for them to be in there. But Daniel House is back for the upcoming series
with OKC.
Just no Russell.
And so I think you've got some history that was actually made.
Yeah, man. So check it out. James Harden became the third consecutive scoring leader this year.
Mm-hmm.
He averaged about 34 points, too shy of the season of his season record,
career best.
Sorry about that. Along with NBA steals leader at 125. He's actually had more steals in his career before, but he's running the
So this wasn't even Harden's best season.
It wasn't his best season, pickpocketing. So I will say watch out for that for the rest of the season. Jeff Green still producing.
He's exactly what we needed coming off the bench.
Exactly, especially with no Russell. We just need another guy. He actually didn't come off the bench this last game.
What helps is he's another big. So
exactly.
Oh, he started too?
He started because no Russell.
Oh, okay,
no Russell,
okay,
no
right. I forgot that pretty much the positions don't really matter in the small ball.
Yeah,
because they're all relatively.
The only one we need at the 5 is the big man PJ.
There you go. But with that, we'll go ahead and jump into the OKC series.
Yeah, right on. So we are the third game of the night.
Tuesday
night. Sorry, tomorrow night. But it's the number one game in our hearts, of course.
Yeah.
It starts at 5:30. Honestly, this is one of those games that fate intended.
Yeah, no, it's almost storybook written, like the first team that Russell Westbrook, and even more curious is that he's out, which is kind of crazy, but Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, we're literally going to get pretty much who won the trade after this series.
Honestly, whoever comes out on top is...
Because that was the whole point of the trade. Both of the teams, they wanted to make their squad better, push them over the hump, and we're going to find out who really kind of got that edge.
It just sucks not having Russ, man. It's just like...
Yeah, it's tough. I'm thinking the first 2 games, right?
I think for sure the first, maximum 2 games, because the second game won't be until, I believe, Thursday. So that gives him a lot of time till then, to kind of feel for if he feels better or not. But one thing I will note, this is going to be the first time that OKC will see the Rocket small ball.
Really?
Yeah, so we haven't seen them. I believe the record right now is they won 2 to our 1 this season.
Oh, in the regular season?
In the regular season,
But it was pre-small ball.
That was pre-small ball. So, and another thing I always want to note is OKC is one of those teams that they love to thrive at home. Their fan base.
Right.
So that's why I don't know. It's gonna be very interesting.
OKC is definitely one of the better, well-coached teams in the league. They've definitely got with Chris Paul and Steven Adams says he hasn't had a super long career, but those two are veteran players. They've been around the block.
Steven Adams get you a double-double every night. The general, Chris Paul, and CP3. And then one thing I was going to note was, yes, they do have Shea Gilgeous. I can never pronounce his name.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yeah.
The hyphenates.
And Gallinaro. They both average about 19 points.
Gallinari,
sorry about that. They both average about 19 points. And another person who averages about 19 points is Dennis Schroeder.
They don't each average 19 points.
It's literally about 19
Oh, wow.
points.
I thought you meant 19 in total between the two.
No, 19 a game.
Wow,
So
okay.
that's why OKC is one of those teams that are kind of scared because each person.
They're really sneaky, man.
But without Dennis Schroeder, that kind of helps us out in the long run because that is another person who comes off the bench, or if he starts with them, it's just another person.
He's had some buzzer beaters this year. He's a very good player for sure.
Lightning.
No, it's a tough team. It's a well-coached team. They remind me of the Spurs a lot. It's like this, I think, would be like the closest thing to a Spurs team that we've
Great coaching, great players,
sound ball,
teamwork, all together.
Everybody, yeah, exactly. Like them in the West and then Toronto in the East. Like those two teams, their entire starting five averages, I'm guessing, more than 10. Like
about 10, I feel like 10 or above. There might be one guy who has 8 or something.
I will say, I know we're getting a little bit off topic, but Toronto actually, I think it did make history this year where all 5 of their starters produced more than 15 average a game.
Averaged about 15 a game?
Plus, yes. They were at least 15. All 5 of them.
Sneaky. Well, that's the thing. They're not
Toronto.
Sneaky.
Nobody
won the championship last year.
Nobody talks about it.
Just no respect on them. Sorry.
No, it's crazy.
If we were East podcast, it might be different, but
yeah, we are a Western podcast all the way.
I do have one hot take for the first game tomorrow night.
Okay.
I predict that James Harden will have a 35 plus
so, yeah,
dub.
He's
gonna win, and he's gonna get 35 plus.
That is kind of my feeling too. He's definitely going to realize that this game's extremely important, of course, not only being the first in the series, but with no Russ, he really is going to have to go out and kind of like
step it up,
prove that the series is his. It's his Rockets team.
It's his series to lose.
Exactly. They're going to die. They're going to live and die by James Harden and how he performs. Exactly. So I think you're spot on with that prediction. He's definitely going to have a huge night. Do they take the first game?
Oh yes, that's what I said. He gets the 35 plus game,
and they win. Yeah, I have the same sort of prediction. Honestly, though, I will say I think they're going to split those first two.
I mean, I can see this. It's just especially without Russ, because Russ, James is the team, but the small ball is about Russ.
Yeah, once Russ comes about, that's when it really elevates. So we're hoping around Game 3. I wouldn't put money on going 2-0 before Game 3, but that would be pretty much obviously the best case scenario.
Last thing I wanted to know, we do have a bad bet hat.
A hat bet?
A hat bet. My man here was trying to tell me that Ben McLemore.
Oh yeah. Macklemore.
Macklemore, sorry. My apologies.
Not the rapper.
Yeah.
Macklemore, yeah. So
Macklemore, the over-under. He was telling me that.
So we set it at 11.
11, yeah.
Macklemore has to average more than 11 points for the whole series. So it's 4-game series, 5-game series.
I got the over. He has.
I had the under. I don't think Macklemore is really going to be a presence at all in this series. Not that we need him to.
I think, especially without Russ in this
first
series, like a couple of these games, he's definitely going to have a higher presence.
We'll see. We'll definitely see tonight. Whatever he averages. We'll see.
Hat bet.
But so do you want to go ahead and kind of predict the series with that?
Yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and say.
What do you have?
I think I had it. It was gonna be 6 games.
6 games, okay.
Rockets winning, in 6.
So I also have the Rockets taking it, but I think this is gonna go to 7.
I could see it going to 7, especially depending on when Russell gets back. I could see it going to 7, but I'm, always optimistic, and I love to see my boys win.
Right.
So
yeah. So I've got 7 on that as well.
Right.
So. With that, we'll go ahead and talk about pretty much the rest of the news around the league.
Yeah, the biggest news that happened over this weekend. Real quick, I just want to, Phoenix Suns, man.
Oh, yeah. R.I.P. R.I.P. Book. R.I.P. Aiden. It's super upsetting.
It varied. The only undefeated team in the bubble.
How does that... Why... NBA, why did you invite them?
To keep it spicy, man. Without the Phoenix Suns, there would have definitely just been Portland, Memphis,
Spurs.
Even if the Spurs had a smaller chance than the actual Phoenix Suns. And the Phoenix Suns had a .01 percentage of making the playoffs.
They beat every team. They had
Great teams.
Yeah, really good teams too. Another little anecdote: they didn't have a nationally televised game scheduled when the bubble opened.
Wow.
And then they earned it later on in their games and stuff.
Probably, yeah. And I will, like I said in the last episode, I highly doubt that they will not have that many. There are going to be so many national.
Oh yeah, the Suns are definitely gonna get attention. It's gonna suck though if they just kind of fall flat next year.
I will say, man, like I said, they earned my respect.
And the whole league.
And like you said last time, with this short break, there's not much of them to like,
Right, they're not gonna.
They're gonna get right back into it.
The hype train's still in the station right now.
Yeah,
It's just refueling at the station.
It's just refueling at the station,
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
I just want to note that just because that was
and so
sad.
that kind of transitions us into the next topic is they didn't make the play-in tournament game,
which was against Memphis, number 9 Memphis versus Portland, number 8.
And Memphis it was double elimination for Portland, single elimination for Memphis.
Exactly. So lower seed.
Mm-hmm.
So Memphis had to win 2 games. Portland only had to win 1.
But Saturday it was all to.
It was all Blazers. It was a good game. I'm not gonna lie. Ja Morant had a career high of 35 points, but it just wasn't enough.
That Grizzlies team is just not there yet.
I feel like if they would have been in continuity with their regular season, if it would never stopped.
Oh, the whole same thing.
Yeah, would have been in that whole groove, and that would have been a whole different story.
So there's kind of like my gripe with the Suns and how what's the point of even showing up, going 8-0? But at the same time, there was a regular season that everything is keeping that they're basing everything off of, and the Grizzlies definitely outperformed the Suns in the regular season. So I guess it is kind of unfair for me to be like, because the math came out, the math didn't lie.
Slim, bro. Very slim of who was the deciding factor. And so, like I said, I appreciate the Suns being in this because if it wasn't Suns, if it was just Memphis, if it was just Portland, maybe just Spurs, it wouldn't have been as interesting as it was.
Right. That race for 8 was. We were caring about Suns games.
I want to also note, congrats, all made it. 88 games, 22 teams, 1 campus, and non-stop entertainment.
Kudos to the NBA. Of all the leagues right now, besides maybe hockey, but of course they don't get the national love like the NBA. But this league is a prime example of how they can survive through the pandemic and through the quarantine and everything. And I'm pretty sure
I want to say.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say great commissioner.
Oh, right, Adam Silver, the best commissioner in sports.
All the sports, yeah, most definitely.
For sure. I honestly think if everything is still going the way it is when it's time for the next season to tip off, you can see him doing it again.
Yeah, no, man, if he figured it out one time, why can't he do it again?
Yeah, and Disney and Orlando made their bread off of all this, so I don't think they're not going to have a problem, or they're not going to tell the NBA no.
Yeah, no, exactly. And then from there, let's just go on to, I guess, what's currently happening today.
Yeah, so today the playoffs finally started. All-day basketball. We love it. We hate that we have to give y'all this show right now. We'd much rather be watching games.
But my thing is, I'd rather do it today than tomorrow when the Rockets actually play. So I was like...
We're stoked that we're filming today versus a day on the Rockets game. But so the games that already happened today... A great game. The best game of the playoffs so far. Jazz versus... a very short... I'm already giving it the GOAT status. I'm just so hyped, guys. But Jazz versus Nuggets, an OT thriller. Spider and Jamal Murray put on an absolute show.
No, Joker and Jamal Murray. Spider did a great.
No, Donovan.
Okay, my bad. I thought you were talking about because it was Joker and Jamal.
No, they put on a show. They made it. They were back and forth, knocking down threes at the end of the game in overtime.
What did Donovan end up with?
It was over 50. High? I want to say 53, something like that.
It was either. I know it was a career high, and it was a for sure.
It was a franchise record.
Franchise record beating Karl Malone.
Karl Malone, yeah, and So also he did that. All those points off of around 50 shooting field goal percentage. Yeah. Crazy.
Spider-Man.
Crazy. And then Jamal Murray had, I think, 35 or something off of 60% shooting.
All I know, they were going back and forth, and the only reason I want to say that they won was because of those black jerseys. I love those black jerseys. Man, they're cool as hell.
So I think, honestly, Gobert's a great
defender,
great post player, great number 5. but when your 5 is shooting threes at a steady clip
thing.
on the other end.
Yeah, so you can have a great 5 defending everything, but if you have an equal 5 shooting, also defending,
Yeah.
you know.
No, I think so. That's what it's going to come down to. It's going to come down to if is Gobert's defense more impactful or is Joker's offense more impactful? And so in this game, it was definitely Joker's offense.
It was definitely Joker's offense, but like you said, alongside of the help of Jamal.
Oh no, Jamal had probably his best game within recent memory. Definitely his best playoff game.
Yeah, I was
in
going to say
recent
probably
memory.
most definitely his best.
Denver's looking like a scary team, man. There are some real sleepy teams that nobody, because everybody, you know, the sexy picks, the Bucks, the Lakers, the Clippers.
The East Side, West Side, bigs. That's who everyone's mainly paying attention to.
I think this is going to be possibly one of the most competitive series this year.
So what do you have this prediction for this year?
So I have Denver in 6.
Denver in 6. I also have Denver going in 6 as well.
Yeah, especially after today's game, they kind of just solidified everything with that.
And then the following game, also another high-scoring game as well, Nets Raptors. It was pretty close, but Raptors, you know, run away at the very end because the world champs, man. One thing that even I falter to a lot is that I don't give them enough credit. I don't put enough respect on their names.
Somebody, I was watching some sports piece, and they said that they called the Toronto Raptors defending champs, and it took me a second to be like, they are defending champs. Like they are.
You know what? You're right.
They literally are. Like it feels like it was so long ago. Like, I mean, but they're literally they have the title right now of NBA champion. It's kind of insane that nobody is talking about them. Especially with the Bucks faltering as of late.
Yeah, it's especially with the Bucks, man. They're not looking that, you know, not strong.
Giannis kind of losing his temper at the end.
Yeah, that's very true. But one thing I will note about Toronto, man, of course they did lose Kawhi, their MVP, but they didn't lose anyone else. It's been the same.
And Siakam
chemistry,
is emerging.
Spicy P, and not to mention
Fred VanVleet playing
OG
Anunoby. Yeah.
He was on the team last year. He just so happened was who got hurt right in the playoffs, so he wasn't able to go into that playoffs run. But he's playing great this year. Yeah. So it's just another reason why don't count out Toronto. You know what I'm saying?
So I actually have Toronto over the Nets in a sweep.
You have them in a sweep? I gave the Nets one game just because I love Caris LeVert.
I think the Nets are, you know, there's a reason they went and got KD and Kyrie.
That's true.
So, hey, kudos to them for making it as far they did
without. They're going to be the Clippers of next year. This year, next year, they're going to be a Clipper type team. Having a great type core, adding 3 amazing stars. Not to mention Dinwiddie. Not to say he's not a star, but I liked, you know, KD, Kyrie, and DeAndre Jordan. Another great big, you know what I'm saying?
And so from that one to the game that's actually happening right this second.
Yeah, right now we're in the second quarter, about 5 minutes left. Philly's down 36 to Boston's 41.
Yeah, so it's Celtics, Sixers, and right now, like as he said, the Celtics are at what, a 10-point? 5-point lead.
But I will note that all the games so far, the higher seeds have won. So as of right now, Boston is up, so we'll see if that continues.
That's actually... I'll go on record right now. That's my pick for the East. Boston.
Oh yeah. I actually like Boston. I think we had said in one episode, I had Boston versus Bucks. But like I said, now the Bucks are kind of making me feel.
Hey, it's funny we said all that about the Toronto Raptors just for me to be like, oh yeah, Celtics. All right, so from there, tonight's primetime nightcapper. I'm sorry. What do you have? Sixers, Celtics.
I have. Previously, I had Boston sweeping the Celtics Philly, because I thought Joel wasn't going to be participating, but Joel is back, and Joel is a great player. You know, if he gets on fire, it's going to be one of those Hakeem number nights, having 28, 30, 25, points. So I don't think he can win on his own, but I do see them at least taking one. So I had that 4-1 Boston.
So I have the same. I think they can take a game. They do have some deep, like Tobias Harris, Matisse Thybulle.
What's his
coming
name?
up?
From Boston.
Hal Horford.
Yeah, exactly.
He's helping out. So yeah, I definitely think there's enough little firepower to probably make some noise. But yeah, I see Boston in 5.
Exactly. I think Boston has too much firepower for their
exactly. But so from there, Clippers, Mavs.
I think this will probably be. I thought this would be the best game of the night, but Nuggets Denver. Nuggets Jazz kind of proved me.
Yeah. It could still be the game of the
yeah.
night, but this is definitely one of the better series in the West for sure.
It's definitely a more interesting series, I will say.
Yeah.
Mavericks, Clippers. Mavericks 7th seed, Clippers 2nd seed. They start tip-off is at 8.
Luka had 17 triple doubles this year.
17 triple doubles.
It's insane.
And I mean,
Porzingis.
I was about to say you add Porzingis along to
put up
that,
at least 30,
and then you have A. Curry. He's not Doug Curry, but he's A. Curry.
Yeah.
There's 3 of them, so might as well. No, I'm just joking.
But so actually for tonight, I think Clippers are probably gonna take that. To be honest.
Honestly.
I feel like they were such a hype train before the playoffs, and I feel like they've noticed that everybody's kind of like hopped off that bandwagon a little bit. So I think this is their game to come in and try to, hey, we're the Clippers, we're the same Clippers we were during the regular season. We're here, we're hungry.
And if Harrell is back, because I know he's back in the bubble. I don't know if he's activated yet.
Mm-hmm.
But if Harrell's back, Lou Williams, that whole team, I can definitely see this. But the thing is, Luka and Porzingis, man.
So, who do you have in how many games, though?
Okay, it's going 7, but I have Clippers.
Same. I have the exact same thing.
My thing is, though, I'm one to be like, oh, they're going to win this game, or they're going to win game 1 or whatever. This one, I have no idea. It's going to be a coin toss.
Nice.
I'm just going to, sit back and enjoy it, crack a cold.
Exactly. So, before we go ahead and get into our next sport, we'll go ahead and kind of do our own little bubble awards.
Yeah. So, a couple of the major hardware of Orlando has already been given out, but we wanted to give our take on who we think should earn a couple trophies from the bubble.
Spoiler though, it's not too much different from the NBA's list. We've got kind of the same names, and we should go out and say it right now. Who's your MVP?
Okay, so we'll start off with the MVP. Mm-hmm. I have Devin Booker. 8 games, averaged about 27 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists a game. Had 4 35-point games.
Okay, so I lied. We do have different. See, I guess my picks are more on par with the NBA.
Okay.
I definitely have Lillard.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
4 40-point games, 61 burger,
50
average 34 in the bubble. I basically carried that Portland team into the playoffs. We talk about how little of a chance Suns had. Portland was also not in them. I don't even think they were the 9 seed.
No, I think Portland was maybe 10.
I want to say 10.
Yeah, because I think it was Memphis, New Orleans, then Portland, then San Antonio, then whatever. Suns.
So I think Dame, just give him the MVP. He's gonna beat the Lakers. Skip Bayless is whack. Just give it to him, man. It's Dame time. Dame time.
I definitely agree with you. Like I said, 50 piece, 60 piece, 440 pieces. My only reasoning to give Devin his bubble MVP is because they went 8-0. 8-0 in the bubble. They played great teams. And Clippers, Mavericks, Pacers, Heat, Thunder, Sixers, Mavericks again, and of course the Wizards. But still, man, all I'm saying is, but I did want to know, the top 3 I had was Booker, Dame, Harden. I don't want to say Harden was going to win the MVP, but Harden also averaged 34 points, about 8 rebounds, about 9 assists, about 3 steals, had 240 pieces of his own, and he only played 7 games.
Very good number.
So, I just wanted to put him up there. I knew he wasn't going to get it, but I just wanted to put some respect on his name.
But so we'll go ahead and announce the Loose Laces all bubble team.
Yeah.
So on the first team, Carlos, go ahead and give the announcements. I know all these players are wanting to know if they made our bubble list.
Our first team, or my first team, I don't know. It's going to be Damian Lillard, of course, Devin Booker, James Harden, the top 3 for the MVP, of course. T.J. Warren, a.k.a. Kawhi Leonard 2.0, and of course Luka Doncic. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
That's just, they all have been balling hard. All guards, sorry, no bigs were in my first team, but
so he's got a small ball bubble team.
I got a small ball bubble team, yeah. And then was yours a little bit different from mine?
So I just have Porzingis is going to be my 5.
You put Porzingis, okay.
Porzingis is going to be my 5.
Porzingis made into my top second team.
And then I like the 4 you got, really, the guards, and then Harden could be a 3, and T.J. Warren I think is a 4. Or no, he's a guard, huh?
He's a guard as well.
Okay,
but he's big enough where you can put him.
No, yeah. Definitely a good little bubble team right there.
And then my all bubble second team, going Jimmy Butler, Jimmy Buckets, Jason Tatum after the haircut, not before. Of course, Kawhi Leonard, Kristaps Porzingis, and then one of my favorites, just because Bol.
Alright.
Yeah, man. And then the last but not least was the best team in bubble.
AKA the coach of the bubble award.
Yeah.
I got to give it to Nick Nurse with the Toronto Raptors.
I had the three teams I had named on there was the Phoenix Suns 8-0, 7-1 Toronto Raptors, and then the 6-2 Portland Trail Blazers. Like I said, I'm just gonna go. Me personally, I'm going 8-0 bubble. Undefeated Phoenix Suns. Just because 8-0, great teams.
Yeah.
Too bad you couldn't.
We love the bubble, but we're glad we're finally to that tournament now, these seeding games, and we are more than excited to see how our picks and everything go this week. Can't say enough about how much we love basketball.
We're just trying to run through this so we can go home.
Yeah.